Oh my gosh, today we have beautiful Elita joining us to share about her journey of success, and she's had epic results that I'm so excited to share with all of you beautiful women watching this. So, welcome Elita, it's so good. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Alita is a total powerhouse. I'm so excited to share some wisdom for you guys today. So, beautiful Alita, tell us a little bit about your journey of success and anything about you that you want to share about your story.
Oh, where to start? It's a long one. I guess the foundation is I'm an accountant and a mom. So trying to balance those worlds. Um, which I guess in my journey has been the tricky bit often at times, not necessarily putting myself first. Or really believing in myself enough. And that's really delayed and held me back. But now I can say proudly that I'm a successful business owner, helping lots of other small business owners run their business. So I'm an accountant with a true passion in really trying to help people. And I've also managed to complete my studies throughout doing all of this to become a patient advocate in oncology practices. So, yeah.
Yes, amazing because you've had quite the journey and overcome a lot with your health as well. I know she's. Well, I know, would you like to share anything about that?
Yeah, so throughout, I think, early days of us meeting, I had breast cancer when I had a little baby. And so I had to keep on powering through and with work and everything else. But coming through the other side, I think we can all always take obstacles, react in different ways. But for me, it was what can I take from this and how can I help other people? So that's what my main focus is now in both businesses is trying to help other people who unfortunately are in that position, try and make that easier.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Congratulations. And the biggest results that you created that we want to celebrate is an increase in your business by 290% within 6 months. Like, oh my God, we can't wait to hear all about it. But congratulations on that is epic.
Thank you. And I got to say, it was a big credit to doing your live event. I think that made that shift.
Oh, I'm just thank you for acknowledging that. But like you did it. Like what I love about you is you've got this strong, successful mindset and you don't make excuses. Like even though when we first started, I know you were scared, as we all are when we invest in something, right? And we do something new. It's like it feels petrifying and it's like you had that fear and you just made powerful decisions through all of your journey, right? It was like you've got that like successful just I'll find a way to move through this, and that's really what I think is one of the keys to your success for anyone watching, for all of us. Like it's a beautiful reminder, just focus on what you want and like just let the rest go. And I think that's such a testimony to your incredible results, so congratulations for that. I love that about you. So tell us, like, I mean, together we did some one-on-one stuff when we first, started working together, and then you did a live event with me, and then you did my 6-week group training program, Become Unstoppable. So tell us all, like, what was the reason for, what was happening in your life that caused you to decide to want to do some work together? What was
I
happening
think
back
there,
then?
I think there are probably a few things. I know when I first came to you for the one-on-ones, it was like, man, I seem like a completely different person now looking back. Like I was so indecisive. I don't know if you remember, but
I do.
you're right. So you were having to try and help me make they're pretty decent sized life decisions. But nonetheless, I would have known the answer in my gut, but I wasn't listening to my gut. I wasn't in tune with myself and what it was that I truly wanted. So that's where I was when we first met. Um, and I just feel like such a completely different woman after everything that we've done. Like I had so much fear. It was the fear about what if I make the wrong decision, fear about all the consequences, the what ifs and all that, which it was just pointless. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just needed to have faith in myself, to believe in myself and listen to that little voice inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the final point for you of like just being like, I can't, enough's enough? Like, take us back to that moment of like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, what caused that decision in you or led you
I
to that?
think I think it was probably the really big moment was probably at the live event actually, and really being in tune. And because as I touched on, like I had a breast cancer diagnosis when my little girl was not quite one, and I've got an older son as well. And I think just having that really brought home to the truths about, if I didn't make the changes, if I didn't stop living in fear, then what that could potentially cost me would be what I consider my everything. Like fear is so crumbling for our health. It wasn't going to do me any good in terms of health, and then being there for my kids. And I don't know if you remember, a main goal of mine was also to take my son on a holiday.
I do, because do you know why as well? Don't let me break your pattern of
Yeah.
thought. But Alita actually said to me, like, if I do this, I will be like, this will be at the cost of my kids going on a holiday. Like, and I was like, oh, wow. Like, you actually said I'd be taking that gift away from them if I did this. And I was like, oh. So it was, I remember how much you wanted that. And yeah, that pattern of like putting other people first, and that just that belief that, if I do one thing I can't do another, right? Like, so many of us women think that we can't have it all, and it's like that's total BS. We can have it all, but that fear blocks our perception and keeps us stuck. So continue though. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud to say that I did make that happen, and we did get to go on a holiday. But yeah, that was the moment, is the realization when it got really brought home that if I didn't stop living in that fear, then I wasn't going to experience these things that I truly wanted to. And it would probably have a detrimental effect on my health as well, because by limiting myself, I was putting financial pressures on myself as well, because I wasn't living to my true potential. Um, as well as obviously by putting everyone's self first continuously, as I think us mums tend to do often anyway, or women in general. Um, but by doing that, you're not looking after ourselves, right? Like the oxygen mask on ourselves first.
Yes, yes to that, sister, like for sure. And yeah, I really honor you for that. And for anyone watching, most people are not really honest with themselves about that cost, right? Because it feels uncomfortable. It feels painful to think into future cost and what the real cost of our patterns and behaviors are. First of all, to even have that awareness. And that's why I say this work and the inner work and people who want results, it's for the courageous, it's for the tenacious and the honest people, because that was the biggest gift I gave myself too, like just being really honest with what my fear and all of that stuff was costing me, and we use that to drive us to propel forward. But I honor you for having that honesty, because it takes wild courage and yeah, just a depth in yourself that like a lot of people never get to. So congratulations for that as well. Tell me, what were the biggest takeaways, or well, yeah, let's tell me first, what were the biggest takeaways that you got from the work, and we'll kind of follow that through to how you created that 290% increase in your business for people wanting to know that. But tell me
Yeah.
first of all, what were the biggest takeaways and the biggest changes that happened for you that allowed that result?
Mm. Um, Obviously, I'll leave the rest of the metaphors and all that sort of stuff to you. But there was one thing in your course that you said that really, really hit home, and that was about the thermostat. And just, basically self-limiting and being within our comfort zone. And it's so true. There's a reason why we all just sit at that same level all the time, because it's where we're comfortable. And we're telling ourselves that if we want more, why don't we just go out and get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the biggest take home.
Yeah. it's like your programming, right? For you, for anyone watching, it's like it's your set point where you've been programmed to be safe and feel comfortable, and we stay in this place, and it's like we need to break out of that, because the good news is it's just a program, it's not the truth, but that's like our conditioning, and that's what's in our subconscious mind, right? So when you do the work to break out of those programs, you break out of a whole paradigm of what you've been conditioned and programmed to believe about everything. And it's like we don't realize we're stuck in this program, right? So the goal is to actually break out of it, but stay out of it. And that's how I believe you created that incredible result of like 290% in 6 months, because that's like, that is a whole new world, right? Like, did you ever even think at the start, when you were living in fear, that you'd be able to create that kind of result, especially in only 6 months?
No, and you know what it goes to show is how much I was undervaluing myself before. You know, I was giving away me and my services and my time for nothing. You know, I wasn't valuing myself and all the years of study and experience that I had. And so by just making that little switch, and you know, most of that growth was actually from existing clients as well. So they as soon as I said, yep, here's the change in how I'm feeling, they're like, yeah, I see your worth. So it was me that was doubting it, not my clients or anything else. It was only me and my self-doubt. So that's what all came from the course, to stop the fear, to really believe in myself, and to see my true self-worth. Thank you,
Oh,
Jazz.
oh. That's beautiful. Thank you. I'm just like, I'm so like just so proud of you. It's amazing that you created that result. So tell me then now, what do you think was like the thing? I mean, you kind of said it, but like, is there anything else that you want to add about how you created that 290%? Like after the course, or what you got in the course, or what you were actually just doing in your business that created that result? Like, what was the thing?
So for me, it was kind of changing the way in which I was billing people. Like obviously every industry is different. So for me, it was switching my business model to how I was charging. But then that enabled me to also be more true to myself. I wasn't just an accountant that we see at the end of the year, hey, let me do your tax. I want to be more than that. I actually truly want to ride the journey with you in your business. So for that, I changed to like a monthly subscription, which actually is better for the client because they're not having a big bill at the end of the year. But it also meant that the client was then thinking of me as a tool in their back pocket. And I was like, they weren't scared to contact me and get a big accountant's bill or anything like that. So it's something that then we've been able to grow together. So the clients will contact me and say, hey, should I be doing this? And we can have more meetings frequently to, you know, discuss how they're going in their business and so forth. So it's really helped them and me. So value adding for them and myself, really recognizing my own true worth.
Yes. Recognizing your own worth, because self worth is everything. And when you value yourself and you learn how to articulate that, and also just make the decision to like honor yourself and prioritize yourself and value yourself, that's everything. So then tell us about your confidence and how that impacted, right? Because I think a lot of us don't even realize what confidence is. And first of all, confidence is believing that you're worth it, and believing that you have value, and believing that what you want is possible with no evidence of it, right? And
Right.
I think that people just don't understand a lot of the time. And I used to hear the word confidence and didn't realize that's what it was. So tell us now about how confidence, how your confidence has changed, and how that happened for you. Like,
I think it's something that gets easier as time goes on, right? Like the first time that you have to have that awkward conversation about fees or a price rise, or going for a new proposal that, you know, you would have been nervous. Like it's hard the first couple of times, but then every time it's easy because it's actually validating your worth when it goes the way that, you know it was going to go because you are worth it.
yes. I love that. So when we look at the thermostat, you broke out of the thermostat of
Mm.
your, like your whole identity transformed. And then the key piece here for all of you watching is that when you have that transformation, you have this whole new identity about who you are, your self-worth, your value, and you take massive action. And then through taking action, every time you take action, you are now aligning with this new you. And
Yeah.
that's the key there. Like you created this, you broke out of the old paradigm and then you took massive action inside of that. And then you conditioned yourself through repeatedly taking that action. And here you are with those incredible results.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. So tell us about your like leadership skills now, after breaking through the self-doubt and being able to now make powerful decisions in yourself, your business, and your life, and being free of the fear. Tell us about your leadership skills.
Yeah. I'm quite fortunate as in that the staff that I have in my business are pretty easy to manage. So from that side of things, it's pretty crazy. I'd say what the biggest change that I've noticed, and I know this isn't leadership per se, but I will say that when I've changed my belief in myself, it does affect the relationships around you. So from friendships to family, and it's not always great. They are sometimes met with some resistance, but it's kind of, well, it is good because whatever resistance that's met with is obviously for our own good anyway, and it's going to be challenge those people to actually look within themselves and do their own healing as well.
Yes, just being the change, being the light. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's phenomenal, and for your kids as well, right? Like, wow, what's the greatest gift you're able to pass on to them now that you value yourself and you have that confidence in yourself and you're really creating those results?
Yeah, that's what I love is, whenever you're in a situation that is making you feel, uncomfortable, someone hasn't spoken to you nicely or something like that. My little daughter's there for to be able to stand up and actually speak your mind. And I'm talking respectfully. So, you know, um, it's great because you're modeling her about, self-worth and belief and what women are capable of.
Yes, yes, it's amazing. So, tell us now, after all of this work and this inner transformation, what's life like? What's possible? I know you said you've been able to take your, children on like holidays, doing these things that you dreamed of. Tell us more about just what's possible, what your life is like after all of this.
Yeah. So yes, I got to take my son for a trip last year, which was great for our relationship. And I'm actually just so context, when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, I said, I haven't even got to travel because that was during COVID. So I've just booked a trip to go to America to do a little bit more networking with the integrative oncology practices that I've just finished studying. And before, fear would have held me back. I would have been like, oh, no, I don't want to go by myself. Or, that money would be better with a family. Whereas now I'm like, no, that could help my career. I could meet a doctor that I'm going to network with and then this and that. And so I'm excited for new opportunities. I'm not letting fear hold me back. I'm saying yes a lot more is what I would say.
Yes, I love it. Tell tell for any of the women out there watching who are like wanting to get where you are, like they're wanting to grow in their career, they're wanting to break free of the self-doubt and the fear. What would be your biggest advice for those women, just from your journey and what you've learned and what, has helped you to create these incredible results? What would you say to them? They really want to get to where you are.
Apart from obviously, I believe in you, so doing your course, apart from the obvious there.
Thank you.
It yeah, getting rid of that fear that's holding you back. And I think that's not necessarily easy to really work out what that is. Obviously, we've all got different stuff inside that's causing that, but really stopping the fear and believing in ourselves because we're all so incredible.
Yeah. And what do you say? I mean, because I personally, from my own experience and working from others, don't believe that we can really do that on our own,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the subconscious mind. So, what would you say to what's your opinion about that, and what would you say to the people that are just, I'll figure it out on my own, or like, I can't do it? What would you say to those people, and what would you say about like the investment side of things? Because I know that you were one of those people that was like really afraid to
Yeah,
invest.
definitely. Look, I think I can't say you can't do it on your own, but I certainly think that it's a lot harder. It's going to take you a lot longer, because the subconscious, well, it's called subconscious because we're not conscious of those thoughts, right? So it's hard to program or reprogram, I should say, what we don't know is happening. We kind of need someone there to really help lead out all what's buried within. And that's where you are a godsend.
Oh, I lost you. Hold on. I
I think
couldn't.
it's that.
Oh, that's back now.
Yeah.
We heard godsend,
Yeah.
and then what did you say?
And you really helped lead out all what was holding me back that I didn't know was there. Yeah, so I think you definitely need someone along to help you. And I've got people around me that are in a similar position where they're like, I need help and all that, but they don't take the action steps. So, within this time frame, I've obviously done a couple of things with yourself, and I've managed to study and get a new career as well as grow my business and have these cool experiences. But these other people around me are still in that stagnant spot where they're still, because they're too scared to actually take the step. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily easy, but it's just a little bit of uncomfortableness at times.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you get so much for it. So, yeah.
And what's that like when you now look in hindsight? I mean, obviously, you've had an increase by 290% in 6 months, and you've been able to take your son on a holiday, and you've now booked another trip overseas. You're just going for everything that you want. What if you were to put a like a value on that, like a monetary amount of what that's all worth to you? How much would you say that's worth?
Oh, God. I can't, because creating experiences, you're right. How can you put a value on that? That's that's the thing. And I know, and a lot of people probably feel this same thing, especially at the moment with cost of living rises and mortgages and all that sort of stuff. It's really hard, especially when you're in a family, to want to invest in yourself. Um, and I know I struggled with that because being in a family and at times we would go from two income to one income and things like that. So it was tricky. But I took the leap of faith. I listened and sort of done the whole it'll work itself out. And it did, because as soon as you start doing that course and you truly stop that, the self-limiting behavior, then nothing's limiting you. So you're going to make that money back up in a matter of no time. But how can you put a price on experiences in life and freedom? And I don't mean freedom like as in, we're in a country where we're lucky enough to have freedom. I mean freedom in the mind, like as in if I want to go and do that, I can choose to do it. I don't have that fear that's, feeling like it's kind of suppressing me or handcuffing me. That's what I notice.
Oh, oof. Like I'm just like listening to your words, getting goosebumps. I'm like, that's it. That's the like key to success. Like, oh my gosh, you capture it and articulate it so well, and it's just incredible. Is there anything else that final words for anyone like that just wants to create success and struggling with confidence, or they're living in self-doubt, or they're just struggling to make powerful decisions, or like you were in the past putting everyone else before themselves? What's your final piece of gold for these people that just really want to create a result for themselves and change their lives?
The only way that you're going to create change is by doing something different, by doing, and it might feel uncomfortable, but you got to make change. If you want to get to where you're going, you got to do something different. Yeah.
Yes, and it's all worth it, isn't it?
Oh,
So more
and
than
then some.
worth
Like
it.
thinking back, I'm a completely different person from when we first started.
You are like, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing. I hope all of you who have been watching have learned a lot just about like you know, the key of confidence and inner transformation and success. And like so often we look at things like, oh, what's this going to cost me? And that is such a poor way of thinking. Like, when you like, if you could speak to future you, which Elita's just done, it's like spoken back to her past self of like, you know, what's this going to cost me? It's like, look at the results. It's like, and you can't put a price on it. It's like, you can't put a price on freedom within yourself and confidence, and just like, life is short and so precious, and we're so blessed to live this life, and we just want to live it to the fullest. So you have done that. You are such an inspiration to everyone around you and everyone who's blessed to be watching this video now. So thank you for sharing your journey of success. I'm just like, it's been such an honor and a privilege to guide you and watch you. And just most importantly, I want everyone to know that like, Elita, you did this, you know, and it's all up to us to make that decision, and you did that. And that's just, like I said, a testimony to the incredible woman you are. So thank you so much for sharing with us, sharing all your wisdom, and for your courage and honesty and all of the beautiful things that are you. I love you and treasure you. So thanks for sharing with everyone. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.